Original TV, Ghana ye dieni.
It was a formal good afternoon. Yes, Original TV. Me da asese na nsoaje brena wo hwe the hot seats Original TV. Me did Akosua Asabea Asomaning. Me kai was a hot seat there every Sunday 3 to 4 p.m. Here Original TV. Unim said this year there obi kan asema ya amanyo sam kwa na ye di ye dwumede so ntino. Ye ne mpanyimfo bi o mayi o muti se bi mpese o mudi amampanyini wo mayi mu wo mpese o ye mrahye bedwafo. Ne nyina no ye ne o mo behia mpunimpu na ye ne o mo edi nkita ho se na ebe ya wo so mrene so na say we make a choice we make a very informed decision or informed choice na say o my Ghana kan kona na ye nyina no ye so ha na so ha na ye de akọ na Ghana etumenya ne tuma pa edi efra na enawie de menya papa ba akọ no obi kana sema very high profile personality or say person ye Ghana president or say NDC ni MPP amoaye or no necessary no mantle na beto ne so say on meji Ghana enkwa enfama ye beto na no bisa no e dey vision or what ma Ghana wo call ne private life me ya na me private life because sabi obi a o mo brade obesi de abeka chen say obema Ghana yetimi abobra intire most times no me hu say nkofo bi atwetwe omutia. First of all I go behind the scenes na metimi akohwe say sabi abrabo mu no musi so no ede ne de no matimi ayamo omo ho a omo epese ye fa Ghana enhye omo nsa na omuntumi embu oman no emaye papa me no wo kase chese ukọ business sector ho de chese ye say waji bia fa oye development economist or sanso ye investment banker and sana oye president edema African Investment Group this on the business na enkofo bebre kase afeed ye ese enya obi oye economist lawyer for na behwe abejiga na amanfo yankosi de bentie po obi oye economist na wabesom ede aman eno na ye MPP fo ye de etalti edema doctor Baomia economist ba konso eyi ni tiapia ene ye ne no etwetwe nkomo e wo the hot seat so na me guess e wo the hot seat Dr. Sam Ankra ono ne me guess or independent presidential hopeful minim so ne electoral commission for the nkomo ma so mama no the green light to contest ene ne be di sa nkomo ne nyina e dey for Dr. Ankra. Good afternoon sir.
Asabea, good afternoon.
Doctor, thank you very much for your time.
May I say?
Because you are a very interesting character.
Wow, interesting character.
Interesting. That's in,
how interesting.
You have interesting personality. As in, why do you want to move from a very successful career, as in a very successful businessman, to politics? In our part of the world, politics is not nice.
I know.
So why president? Very bold step.
That's it. I'm saying it gets to a point that it dawns on a generation to live for the other generation. So we actually, since our fourth republic, 1992 constitution, we've had presidents after presidents. Now, what is the essence of politics? To be able to affect the lifestyle of our people, to be able to help the marginalized, to be able to help the poor, to uplift in their social standards and I say living conditions. Within this period, how has politics benefited you as a person? A few people and a benefit you, majority of our population are getting poorer and poorer by the day. Now, bibia will cause an effect. Nothing happens by accident. We share a crew to say Ghana with so much resources in abundance. Some countries are independence, Malaysia, Singapore, they don't even have a fraction of what we have. These two don't go together. Argentina, a country so blessed and yet has nothing. And these countries don't have nothing, and yet they are far advanced and ahead of us. The problem is leadership. Greg Mills, Etro book B. Say, I so could read you. I say, why Africa is poor. I say, Africa is poor not because, say, aid abro for the mayeng. And I say slavery and I say colonization in Nyaye. We are poor because our leaders are making the wrong choices. And looking at all this, we need to have transformative leaders that would have the guts, the power, the control, the skill to be able to negotiate and navigate this country out of the mess. Esadia yetiha ne hawa numesiko NDC, MPP dia. We will not get any benefit out of it. Until when you say I have the skill, I have the know-how, I'm able to help solve our problems. And here, we live for others. Until no matter how comfortable I am as an individual, if our collective successes does not come together to form a country that has developed and be successful, we've all failed. Until let me put aside whatever I am, whatever I've done, to get on the fray and help support to build our country and create a destiny for generations after generations.
Obubeka said we have, investment bankers in this government, in previous government. When Dr. Baumia was coming, he was touted as one of the astute economists in this country. But this is where we find ourselves. How different are you?
Twofold, and I may answer that question. Say, I didn't think you be called that hospital. Yes, doc, I went to mansion into a free or I didn't come another doctor. Right. Meanwhile, they are all the same doctors. Right. We can have the same profession, but we can be different in our expertise, in how we deliver, in our delivery. And you know, the fact say, Obiyo say now went to me, it doesn't mean say all the people in that field cannot function given the opportunity. But utie masba me start the current systems and structures we have in place now, it will be very difficult for anybody to get out of it and do something to change the economic situation that we're in. Because since NRHEM's MPP 4-year primaries, people are giving refrigerators, people are giving TVs, flat screens, all sorts of money. If people are investing so much to win one elections, what do you think would happen? Until when they get to power, what are the possible means? What are the business bay? And I say, what can we do short to make money and to pay our debts? What are the short decisions and I say measures that we are taking for ourselves and our immediate families? Then, before we realize 3 years about next year elections about, into how do we now find money to win the next elections? So the cycle keeps continuing after each year. The Ghanaian is left out of the equation.
Obubeka said that's how we do our politics in this country. It's ube. You just don't go and campaign. You have to give something to the boys.
Einstein says something very profound. Or say it's only an insane person. Say you'll be an Juma and they keep here the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Say Ghana for say CCC. You near brave pass a society, Yabrabumu. You say politics, it changing our lifestyle. You say, ye mabunu air by near Juma ye, you say chrono fan and tomorrow fry, you picture Ghana, see what they are. Then we say a junior home how we vote. These things have to change. Anything that made me worse, you will say, I am making this clarion call to our people. Say, countries are developing, it wasn't by magic. It was having the right people in the right places who manage to turn the countries around. People getting jobs on merit. People getting to do the thing because they have the skill and the requisite know-how. Abroad for Britain was saying, we say, if you cannot bend it, you can't break it. So I want to mean bend it, I want to mean break it. How do you expect to give an 80 billion economy to somebody who has not even run a $500,000 or $1 million economy? It's not by magic. How you choose your leaders. If we are able to solve that problem, our country will be on the path to prosperity.
Dr. Kobe has said, so what different are you bringing on board? What are you bringing? Then I would be yen forget these two major parties, no matter now for all these years, then we entrust the resources of this country to you?
Number one, we spend so much time on our natural resources. Oh, gold, oil. But Nipa and Esesakro, our young men have been marginalized. And this is a serious pool of resources. So if we spend time and create an opportunity for them, we can harness these resources, and they are the ones who are going to be the great entrepreneurs, innovators, inventors who will turn this economy around. But they've been marginalized. Look at how the system is. Oh, Kroma say, everything, all the odds are stacked against you. We have people who are on pension age and still sitting there running countries, running organizations in the country. All these things are not inuring to the benefit of the youth. And I am saying, I'm bringing out a youth policy, which we adopt very shortly, that would have a comprehensive plan for every person born in this country to be able to harness the resources and make sure, the human capital within our youth is being exploited and used. Look at Facebook, look at Instagram, look at all these powerful technology that we are using. Young men created it. How were they able to do it? Because they live in an environment that gives them the freedom, the opportunity, and the will to do that. We don't have that. Our youth are in the streets. They are unemployed. There's no creativity. There's no innovation. There's no avenues for them. And I am bringing a youth policy to create apprenticeship, to make sure that we are creating jobs, to create entrepreneurs, and to make sure that we are getting the best out of our youth. Number two, we're living in a country like Ghana in 2024, and we are exporting every raw material, no value added. We go to our forests, timber, near Kucha, baby, a friend say Wale or Sandima, near the good castle, near the Asequire, you are spending millions and millions to do it. Near the Akosi Takradi and Asetemania exportico. Then we import it back more than 3,000% of the value. What kind of economy are we building? We are exporting everything. Between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, we produce 80% of world cocoa. Cocoa economy is about 400 billion, and yet we are only struggling on only 5 billion out of the 400 billion. Meanwhile, we produce 80%. Is it right? Everything is just dug on the soil, and then it goes out. Go and see Johannesburg. See how the city has been developed. And compared to Obuasi, what has God done to us? What are the skills that we have developed as a nation from these resources? Years ago, after the Second World War, Norway was a very, very poor country. No money, they were just a bunch of fishermen and farmers until they found oil. And they told the British and the Americans, say, look, we know you have the technology, you have the money. We don't have anything, but what we know is here, we have the oil. Come, train us, develop our people, let us take care of our resources, and we'll pay you from the proceeds of selling the products. Years down the line, Norway is not just exporting the oil, they're exporting the technology. Everywhere in the world that you go and you see oil experts, they are Norwegians. It took a transformative leader to see the future and create something for his people. Why is Ghana not doing the same?
Fantastic idea, but I mean, what do you so and who say you will inherit an IMF economy? Absolutely. And so whatever you are doing, it's not solely you. There are some international hands I bet dealing with you.
You see, and then I will be the international hands there we know that it exists. Mm-hmm. But other countries have other countries have been able to go through. Mm-hmm. I said to navigate and negotiate our way out is a skill you require.
Our way out from IMF?
No, in the circumstances that we are in. Mm-hmm. It means that with all the external forces at stake, with all the situation remaining the same, you need to have a skillful person who understands in and out of what is happening to be able to negotiate and navigate you out of a situation. Mm. And that is a skill that I bring on the table. I like the mess. I like to pick up companies that have been left in the rubbles that nobody wants to touch, but gets in and bring ideas and skills and people to be able to turn it around. This is what I do for a living. And that is why I believe, say, at this time in our situation that we're in, Ghana needs somebody like me to turn things around.
Will you take us out from IMF? Or will we still go to IMF?
Well, I mean, it's an albatross that we have around our neck. There's a process that we need to follow to get it out. However, depending on who is leading will determine what kind of path you're going to create or what kind of, structures and systems you will create. But with or without IMF, whatever policy that I am, or the contract, with your manifest, your friend, a contract with Ghanaians, whatever contract we sign with Ghanaians, is something that we're going to deliver knowing the current situation. We are not going to come and say oh, now you name say a chrono say a city and a fire. We know exactly what problems we are, and we are determined, and we believe that we have the requisite skills and know-how to turn things around for a country. I mean,
maybe one of your interviews, I think say December or November, and I will say our economy is terrorizing. You said that as a painted a very bleak picture about our economy. Do you still stand by it? Because, I mean, as at yesterday, the BOD tells us that a monetary policy, policy rate reduced by 29%. I mean, inflation, I mean, some time ago it's about 50 something, it's now 23. The cedi is fairly stable now. It's 12 cedis to $1. Do you still stand by what you are saying? Or we are turning the corner?
Which corner are you turning?
I'm asking you, are the experts.
What I'm just saying to you is this. There's something we call cosmetics work, and there's something called shaking down the foundation, breaking down and rebuilding. If a building is defected, said, there's a defection, you have the option either to patch it and hope, say, from every and now say you break everything down, put up structures that will sustain the test of time, and then build again. We are living an economy, say, insuota na biguyeso, eriaba na biguyeso. What economy are we building? We don't have a local economy. China, yes, Ukraine war. China, yes, friend say, China is having problems with containers. Every external, if we are importing inflation because we are importing everything. And what economy is turning around? It's a cosmetic work. Until we address the fundamentals of the issues, building a local economy, something that we can control. There's no stability. A China dollar near 11 cities and a China 15 cities. How can you build anything sustainable within such a region? So I am saying, sir, let's stop all these gimmicks and games. Let's stop all this noise we are making. Let's address our issues head on as a country. But this requires difficult decisions and long-term planning, which these two parties cannot offer Ghanaians in the current circumstances, as I've explained from the beginning.
Yes, I mean, as one of the attributes, it's me right upon this. I mean, market forces are almost determined or controlling the dollar, black market. How do you intend to solve that issue?
You see, the problem with the cedi situation is very pathetic. It's a demand and supply situation, as you rightly said. And we keep throwing good money after bad money just to stabilize the cedi. What I mean is, Bank of Ghana, she said, there's a huge demand for the dollar, and I say, a price to bring stability, they pump dollars into the market. Sometimes even depleting our reserves just to pump money in. I call it throwing good money after bad money. This is a bad practice. This is not sustainable. Look, we need to have a stable period for a while. Ghana needs that. And what others have done, and they've been very successful out of it. China did it. Japan did it. UAE did it. They pegged their currency for a period. Psychologically, you are telling the market forces, say, hey, for the next 5 years or the next 10 years, we'll see the need to the dollar, $1 to 10 cedis. It's not changing. Once that is there, nobody is rushing to go and change money to keep at home just because of who said China dollar never cost through until sika be appreciated. Everybody is saving their money in dollars now. People that is why the black market is now leading, because everybody, no matter what, on himself turn 15 cities cry, 20 cities he drew until he's going to get value on his money. We don't value our currency. Until for us to create that stability, we don't have the resources, we don't have the local economy. You peg it for a period, bring stability to the market like what others have done, and then once there's stability, during that period, you are developing homegrown products. You are using the fiscal policies to change the behavioral pattern of the people, including our consumption pattern. Once you do that, you realize that even when that pegging is removed, it still remains the same, like what UAE has with the dirham. Years after they've come out of the pegging, the dirham to the dollar is the same. These are practical things we need to do as a country. But you see, it requires a lot of selflessness. It requires a lot of hard work. It requires a lot of sacrifices. Are we willing to do it as a country? Because these two parties can't offer us. We require a government like ours that would come in, which has no incumbency. We are not there representing any interest groups. Nobody is holding me responsible for anything. Like, I did this favor for you, so do this for me. Because all these things, the reasons why they can't be changed is because we have unseen hands. People who have supported parties, people who have paid money for certain people are sitting behind and making decisions for us. And we can't change it. And we are saying enough is enough. Ghanaians, rise up. Choose somebody who comes with no encumbrance, no hand holding him up, making free decisions, policies that will change the destiny of this country. This is what I bring on the table. I'm
sure you have, bankers, investment bankers, and friends in high places are on the support to your bid to become the president. And while they invest in you, Uber power, you also have to invest in them. So it's the same. We are going around.
Let me tell you this, and again, I have said in different platforms, we are not coming to this politics with any interest groups. Like I said to you, say, it means what we feel is wrong in the system. They are even in our campaigning period. Then we don't have any right to ask to lead this country. So we are saying, say, in real time, every money we are spending, every city we are spending is on the website. You go in there, how we are bringing our money, which money we are using, who is supporting us, is there. It's a 5 cities, 10 cities, 2 cities of your money. When you believe in the vision that Samankra is bringing.
I'm sure your friends, your friends in those places, UK or now for UK.
Look, this is not status, business as usual. It's shameful for us to be where we are as a country with all that we have. And we want to turn our country around. We don't want to be sitting down there for you guys to be laughing at us and thinking that we don't have brains of our own, excuse me to say respectfully. We need to build our nation. We have the capacity and the will to do so. And nobody can stand our way when we get a chance and opportunity to do so.
I was for Akosua Dr. Samankra edin kitahon wa the hot seat so or your independent presidential hope for you betray your Tony abayaba you be so ni electoral commission for edin kitahon about the ambition to become the president of this country or man the green light whatever required to be a presidential hope for na candidates no wetimi are provided edoma na easy for so some person will change the dates no and that's in case of runoff they will have ample time. Ebetimi aye runoff no come aye December elections so nyina ye ba ye betwe Dr. Adwenkyere wo ho ye ntwe ho ne embrasese a
Mene kwaku owusu ajay pato abrasamadu katawire wo sobrobo mensa kwaku abridi abrada sumaya echimpani echimofra ere agene be kasa problem e wo nyina ne say yetimi wu say problem wo manum na ye problems ne nkofo de ye business enti da bia kwan on person ye ne say on person problems ne ka ho na mo adwe nya o say ye betna be keka nsam e be ma otirimu aye ode de here be bo my Ghana ho nkomo ene e ba be die ya bre obi aba no aba be kan de obi aba no aba be kan de ere de nya sa de be ni bio ye ni abere ye be kan se de sitie bia ama what ne se de sitie me kura de mi nyanka de send the bluetooth de ama obroni be say no matter whose ox is God ye be kan ho asem de be de every area no me no kopum say bebo no ntia agene kasa on original 91.9 FM aha enyansa fi
many dance
Hadithi mama na mama watini mama kwaba never say Jumedie no eye yen abrabo wa woni say yen abrabo de emunsam no e dross edi abeje so eye amamra hima adwo isua sa enti na maje adwa na me no ababedi nkomo na me tell say this not dia ensam no eye bebre say eye waware eye wo mpratwe wapomu den ene wahunidie ensam ensi echiba na wankasa mwabrabo no wo ensi echiba de enu nti na madie sei na amamre so de so ni se efrete ehina uchiwo family saw abusia be na enton ben so na abo na wenum a wunim ntiro na wie na me no begzi ani ji ntam ne de ene Ghana ensam na je ba bia ni nyina ye bedu krumu ne de ho nkomo tabre mi pesa wo kame ho na ye de yen abrabo dwumedie ehyehyɛ so
Bema wo woyere na wosan so wompana na okaso do mo mienu nyina me hu so ekohwini efisa akoma na ye baako won't mfa no mienu sa
oba na de na okeka ne sa no ye nananom na omo ware ema bebre wo fie asumdue wo fie no na no de na okeka so omo ya na kohwesem ene de na me ya titimre mo titimre ne de titimre no ene mo ne na me ya titimre mo
ema se ye hie mu na se ye bonkomo a ye kan sempi ensem ne bi wo ho a na ye ma ne din
se oba ba bema odo ni free na akoma mu na odo nsuru ni bibia ewo ni mu se esesa okotin doctor no ko sua se ne ye boduku oba ye
no ba winning baby oba bi eton ajapade nyina ede mani kunu se de be ya efie be ye de echire no ba mani na busuafo eye oba na yakayaka de ne fa wo hemmo oba na ntimi anso ano odi ko wo
ema e wo se ye do ye hu esan se ye hu ene ye ma eno ko ane ade a aka eno nti no de wo se hu se ye manom ayire no mpo empepi no ye na entawanta wo kakra e wo ye ne omu ntem na wo se ye hu se ye manom yire no monso no omu ye ma asemo
sani abiri bia yet no the future is female the future is female the future is now ema yesu ye mreni o emreni no kre ema ye mreni eno nti na original television akofa dwumedie aba a yato ne din se ema mo nsom eho ena ema ye bedi nkomo ye nkata bibia so ye beda bibia edi pefe enti me de bia every 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. me afia papa bi me na me ye wo chia me ba na ye tie mo kase ema mo nsom na waje so se
ye som papa bi
ema mo nsom
ye som papa bi
enti shey
Because I the hot seats or original TV so and then my guest the hot seats so Dr. Sam Ankra or your independent presidential hopeful over a private life with that say you can't banker investment banker development economist or sansu we kobia your friend or a African investment group maybe some say ekono ho asam and on any teaching komo the hot seats so dog my sign embrabium this only is the electoral committee for Mariana.
Oh, easy they say almost standards. I think say not until somewhere in August they will not be able to give me the permit. But we have been talking to them. Everything that they require for me to contest as an independent candidate. And I believe say we've managed to put it in place. Until we are just waiting for the official green light and I say go ahead to come from them within that period. I hope say they can do it earlier, but almost so they have their systems and structures. I think that these are issues I feel say if we are talking about electoral reforms and I say changes we need to look at going forward. But so far, we are boko.
What denounce citizenship or UK na? Yempe chira sembi efe nebe koko.
I don't know who's more citizenship for UK.
I mean, I know.
I'm a full-blooded Ghanaian. I was born in Ghana.
Denounce or UK.
Sabia, how do you know say we get a UK citizenship?
It's what did I say?
Me a Ghana nipa.
I mean, the tell say about me catch say you are trying to convince, especially the youth and those of us who want to see that or that third party or that third person. We also want to try other people apart from this political party. You better abia that say aka ko do election na and your citizen or UK na won denounce time o denounce e no nye correct into be say hu say why answer na ya Ghana supported.
I'm surprised Krasa who preemptive situation, but I want to assure my supporters, especially the youth, say I'm a full-blooded Ghanaian with a Ghanaian passport representing them in these elections.
Okay, fine. And I mean, Electoral Commission for some commotion in some say assess the date of election from 7th December to 7th November. Omo reason majorly say be an runoff will be by ample time to organize themselves. I mean, where do you stand?
I think it's a very good plan. Whether election is October, November, it doesn't really change things so much. But I believe that looking at the time span for this particular elections, just about 11, 12 months away, if they proceed to the next 2028 to implement such a plan, and as a common advice here earlier, it would have given us, because 1 month in politics is a lot. Maybe I can remember 55 plus 1. And I believe it's a fantastic idea. It's a very thoughtful, plan. But since time now, is too close to the coming elections, and I would have hoped they would agree but push it to 2028.
What about almost decisions they will solely take a Ghana card? I mean, holders of the Ghana card, for registration, and also what do you saying?
I mean, what happened to our EC card? And if they thought it wasn't useful, why did they even let us do it in the first place? I have always said, to be honest, there's too many ID cards as a country. We need one solid ID card that can have everything in it. But this does not, we implement such a policy overnight. It requires a lot of consultation, understanding, briefing, and so forth before you can merge everything to one. But so far, they haven't merged everything into one, but they are just choosing one card. That says they feel the other cards are not good enough. What are the reasons? It's a challenge. ID card is an ID card. Driver license a driver license. Electoral Commission card is an AC card is a card. Ghana card is a Ghana card. It shows identity of the person. That's the most important thing. And I don't see the reason why they are opting for just one particular card.
Okay. I mean, one major issue some of us are worried with this government, the number of appointees. I mean, the situation we find ourselves in, if the government can cut down on the expenditure on the number of appointees, about the ministers and
fantastic question. As I found what kind of 20 ministers. 20. Asabea, 20 ministers. Look at this. Holland, Netherlands. They have an economy of over 600 billion. And so they only have 17 ministers. Norway, the same thing, 570 billion economy. 17 ministers. UK, a population of 65 million. Turnover, GDP of about, in their trillions. And yet, they only have 350,000 government workers. Ghana, a population of only 31 million, GDP of 79 billion, and yet we have over 1 million people in our government payroll. Come on, that is not sustainable. This is the elephant in the room. And again, MPP, NDC politics can't solve this problem. Because all the yay on the platform, you have to come and help support, employ people. But I believe, if we create a conducive, enabling environment, if we have deliberate policies to promote the private sector, we can cut the government size by 50%, if not more, and move them to private sector. So Siampa say your refinery, etiase, is sitting idle. We go to the capital markets, near Kobobosia, near wages, salaries of workers who are not doing anything, a refinery which is run at a loss. Come on.
I mean, sitting back, what do you think is wrong with us as Ghanaians?
Well, it starts from our voting. Yet, change. Oh, change. And yet, get towards the elections, they cling back to identity, MPP, NDC, and then we are fighting against each other. Look, I am saying to Ghanaians, it's no more political symbols or colors. It's Ghana first. Yempeja Ghana. Vote for a leader who has the know-how, the skill, and the plan to lift this country from where we are. And I say, the same thing there. That's the problem with one Ghanaians. We don't want change. But change is good. A good change will turn this country around. Yes, Akofa NDC, but what are they going to do differently? Look, let's be smart as people.
I mean, knowing what the Constitution states, your ministers, a majority of your ministers should come from Parliament. I will soon be members of Parliament. So ministers work for more. And I bet you more now. You bet you
Ghanaians. The Constitution does not say, people that come, parliamentarians that become ministers should be my parliamentarians. They say they have to be from Parliament. So the whole country, the whole Ghana is our pool of resources. NDC, MPP are all people who are Ghanaians. So we choose the best brains out of it. And you are making a clarion call again to NDC, to MPP. You have a leader that would come and use Ghanaians to develop our nation and not just on political colors and symbols.
No, but the same people now who complain about them being corrupt, not being able to take care of our economy, are the same people who are all ministers in your appointees.
I told you something earlier on. It's leadership. If we have the right leadership, issuing the right command and instructions and structures, this country will see its glory. And this is what I bring on the table.
And your political party being not doing be distracted youth, say, I mean, the youth is tilted to one political party. To be be distracted. And I say vote, no.
As you can see, I'm a very expensive man. Nobody can buy me.
Oh, really?
Nobody can buy me. I am doing this for a pure passion for our people. The heart desire to make sure, our youth in this country are able to do something sustainable and something good in their lives. And that is why I've put myself on the altar of sacrifice to be able to fight for them and secure this nation for this generation and the generations behind us.
Let's get a little bit personal. I mean, who is Dotanka? Who goes to school? When did you migrate to the UK? I say no. I mean, let's know more about you.
I go to school, Opokwari School.
Okay.
Kumasi. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was even a school prefect. I was in a boarding school as anybody else. You could now Opokwari School. And from after sixth form, they call UK to University College. We call our friends saying Baby College to learn. And from there, before I graduated, even I got headhunted working for AIG, which is American International Group, not African Investment Group. American International Group, the huge insurance company. Thankfully, I was able to progress very quickly within that institution, and then went on to help work for a company, hedge fund in the city of London, Hanover Square, a brand new setup. And that is how I learned my entrepreneurial skills, entrepreneurship. Joined a hedge fund in the city of London, worked there for a bit. Through that, with my colleagues, we opened up a branch in Switzerland. Then we started raising capital for countries. I happen to be looking after emerging markets. Until now, we travel across the globe, anywhere. Sometimes you see, I'll be in South America, I'll be in the Far East, I'll be in Asia, I'll be in Africa. Then I moved from there to focusing on Africa. Until through that, and in Africa, to have met most finance ministers and presidents, because if you are raising money for countries, these are the key people you meet. I've sat down with most of them. I've looked at policy. I've looked at contracts that they have signed, which I thought, wow, these are things they shouldn't have if they have the right advisory. So through that process, I did my I did my PhDs learning to be able to, on development economics, on how to be able to help people move or upward mobility, move from where they are and change their lifestyle. Into this, through all this, is my passion and desire for people, making sure, say, I get to know more so I can help my people. So I've come back fully graduated, fully experienced, fully skilled to bring my resources and my expertise to bear to help our people.
And so, no resources in Nigeria. You know why I'm asking, because I say you're genuine. I
have worked with blue chip companies throughout my career, and everything I have earned is traceable and verified. And yes, everything I have done throughout my career, I'm sure there are a lot of people that knows me in this country, especially in government, so they will bear testimony to who I am and what I've done to this stage.
Now, marriage life, and so to say.
I'm married with 3 kids.
But Omuni Ghana.
Omuni Ghana, they are in England, but they come and they just left after Christmas. They're always in and out in the country. Until they are more or less here, just that they want to taste a bit of both life. Exactly.
Dr. Akosua, obi sure, obi sure now, or 2 Abama come December, then I will catch you on the park. Because there are 2 Abama and some people are who saw me disappointing a quantity, so be sure then I'll be catch you on the park.
Well, yeah, my catch is a bit minimum Ghana for Sunday City, and yeah, there be just 2 or 3 days after voting. Situation at Abba Square 1, near Sa started. Yebeka Sasa na buying na say. And so yet when it reach elections, we go back to our NDC, MPP and still vote for them. Enti we di nyame ayadom. Maybe once you say I am bringing radical and alternative policies that will turn this country around. Enti mesremo a se opese ujai kasa no, opese wa brabo mu sesa. Opese circumstances ye dia enye Dr. Samankra University was say NDC MPP no MYN. Let's look at an alternative government. Obet me a boy near Sasan Abrabum. And unti ena may me who see one and they say what me kasa may Sremo say let's sit down critically, let's analyze carefully how we are voting, because all the challenges that we are facing start from the ballot paper.
And now Okasa will be Castle your third force, sound and dream, because you think that you are the third force. Really? Who gave you that title? As the third force?
I have been on the ground for the last 12 years, canvassing across the nation. Every university campus, everybody knows. Just advise, preaching to the youth about entrepreneurship and leadership. And this third force, I would say, or this force movement, is not something that just came up. It has been cooking for a very long time, meeting young people, understanding their challenges and problems all over the country over the years. And Tina, we are the alternative force to move this country from where it is.
Taking your view on the 24-hour economy proposed by former President John Dramani. As an expert, do you think that it's feasible in our part of the world?
Ghana, we like statements and we like what you call slogans and so forth. But we also have to look at the nitty-gritties. 24-hour economy is not new to this world. London is a 24-hour...
No, but in our part of the country...
I'm just saying, New York is a 24-hour city. Tokyo, all these places, what makes them have that 24-hour economy? Okay. What are the ingredients? What are the things that they need? 24-hour security, 24-hour, what do you call it, service calls, 24-hour power, that's energy, 24-hour water, 24-hour cheap internet, 24-hour demand, because there has to be the market forces demanding for the service. Do we have that in place here? These are the key things we need to ask ourselves. Yeti chroma, ensure turn from abopena electricity off. Yeti chrome, even look at Trasaco near other places. You have to wake up in the night and store water. You need you.
Yeah, most store water our hands.
Of course.
Oh, okay.
You go days with no water. With 2024, these are the challenges we are facing. And to say we are professing 24-hour economy, are we saying we are going to create all these things in along with it? If that's what we are doing, they are fantastic. But please, let's stop dropping policies and ideas in the middle of nowhere, like how we did free education and all the other slogans that we keep repeating. This is a comprehensive exercise. Look at the ingredients. Once you create the infrastructure, once you create an enabling environment, you don't need to profess a 24-hour economy. It will build itself. When the next dawn, Malcolm thinks if I open at 1 a.m., Asabea can drive from home and come and shop with no problems, thinking she's safer. It's a natural phenomenon. It's a demand. It's being dictated by the market forces. It's not say we'll be another car say 24-hour economy. You have a 24-hour economy. Let's understand these things and put structures and systems, block after block, structure after structure, that would help grow our economy. And let's come out of all these slogans and statements that we make.
You mentioned free education. It means there will be some review.
Absolutely. Free education.
When review means what? You cancel it?
No, of course. I mean, review that. No, review.
In our part, in this country, when you say review, it means it will be triple.
No, not at all. Free education on its own is fantastic. Like I said, I have a youth policy that is going to take care of young people from the age of birth to the time they are 18 to ensure whether they are in full-time education, full-time apprenticeship, or full-time employment. This is the policy I'm bringing in. So free education is part of it. However, the Constitution even talks about free basic education. Is it free? It's not. The cube is not free. Recently, there was about 900,000 young people that came out. Only 600,000 were able to go to secondary school from the basic education. 300,000, where did they go to? And
Obeka say it's better than before.
No.
I think the intake, are increasing than before.
As an investment banker, I understand investing correctly and just investing. We need to invest correctly. There's nowhere in the world where you go to boarding school for free. It's not done anywhere. And what I'm saying is create community schools for free, high-level community schools. In fact, go further, privatize your top schools. Let people pay real value for money. Ghana is a very good location. Countries around us are all looking to have education here. Take advantage of that. Make money from there, invest into your local community schools, give right training, high-level training and skills. It gets to a point in education where it moves from just producing labor force to a market. We need to move our education to a level where we are bringing in creativity and innovation. We are bringing in high-level entrepreneurs who will turn this economy around. This is where we should aim and work to, not devalue the standards of our education and call it free education. And see, these are the issues I'm talking about. We need to be able to address our issues head on, rather than the slogans or terminologies which does not take us anywhere. We need to have proper planning and structures in place. And it goes back to what I was saying as what I intend to do. We're going to have a think tank that would vet every manifesto. We're given the opportunity to run this country, even from the campaigning time, because that's where all this may start from. We'll vet every manifesto to make sure, all the promises, all the skies that they are building has the requisite funding and resources to back it up, so that we can expose people to parties to Ghanaians and say, hey, all these things they are talking about is just rhetoric. It can't happen. And let's get to reality. Let's be transparent. Let's show Ghanaians through our politics integrity, honesty, and transparency. And that is what we bring on the table for these elections.
Thank you very much, say. That's the pastor, Ojebre, Edi Maya. Adesima, I had do a BC over the hot seat. So, Dr. Sam Ankra, a independent presidential hopeful. Or no, and I want to know what to say. Many do say Ghana for your man the opportunity. Now, on also, and far, your far man when Shannon San, and also, yes, baby. Or the or mine I mean, fantastic ideas. I know more your candidate say, yeah, fantastic ideas. You knew near was a Jubilee House, so could do one of you. As I hope said them there. Yes, I had to do this with that 2 million as we say, because I miss our tree, and you'll be your boy a producer day abroad. Yeah, executive producer Sky. And that's a son also. Am I a quiet? Am I a be a tomato? We did Akosua Asabea Asomaning. That's an a our original TV. Cheers.
Original TV, Ghana ye dieni.